My intention today for our video is you find amazing grace for yourself and you realize how powerful you are and your divine right as a soul in a human form on this planet of Earth. I had a coaching call with my coach yesterday, and at the end of it, after she gave me some very profound revelations about how I was living my life in a lie, pretty much, she at the end, I said, "Thank you so much for loving me as much as you do." And when I said that, I felt it to the depths of my soul, and I started crying. And I thought about the song Amazing Grace, and the song goes something like, "Amazing Grace, how sweet it is," something to the extent of "a wretch like me." And I was like, what is a wretch? Why do we think of ourselves as a wretch? That's such a strong term to refer to ourselves as. Like, why do we think we're unworthy of love, and why do we think of ourselves as a wretch? And a wretch is an unhappy or unfortunate person, a despicable or contemptible person, meaning an undeserving person, a person who could be hated. And I think many of us see ourselves that way. We think there's something wrong with us. We think, gosh, like, why would people see us that way? Why would people love us? And are we worthy of love? Do we deserve to be loved? And I know in the depths of my heart and soul that we are worthy of love, and we're deeply loved, and we're never alone. And yet, why do we allow ourselves to think of ourselves as wretched and as unworthy of love? And I just, it was such a strange thing to think. So I journaled about it, and I wrote about it. I'm thinking, and as I was thinking how loved I was, how much my coach loved me, I was crying. And I was like, why am I crying in this way? Why am I weeping? Why am I so sad? And I think we live in a world of duality. When there is darkness is when we appreciate light. When we feel unworthy is when we truly feel how it is to be deeply loved, even if we felt unworthy. Like, if you knew that you were loved and you felt you were loved, it's one thing. But if you were to think that you were unworthy and you were wretched and someone loved you anyways, the effect of that is so profound, and it's the depth of that emotion is so strong. And I was thinking, gosh, like, after that day, and after coming home and talking to my husband about how I wasn't.
Mama,
if you catch yesterday's,
watch King Boo.
Okay. If you catch my video from yesterday, I talked about how I came home, I set the intention, I had a really honest conversation with my husband about a version of me that I was sharing with him that wasn't true. It was me attempting to make sure that he always saw a version of me that he would accept, instead of being okay with the all of me, the flawed and everything. And I wasn't okay that he might not like me. He might not love everything about me. Can you turn it down, please, Austin? And it was a tough exercise, to sit there and be okay with having someone see you as you truly are, and then take the risk, be okay and be open to how they may see you and how they may judge you, and they may approve of you and they may not approve of you, and allow that person to make that choice instead of manipulating and presenting a certain version of you so that you can predict a certain outcome. Like, if I presented my most well-groomed self, of course people would think I'm smart and calm and educated and put together. But if I shared my struggles, I shared my ups and my downs, I shared the chatter in my head, my flaws, what would my husband think of me? Would he think I'm lesser of a person? And would that affect how he sees me? And would that affect his approval of me? And would that affect his love for me? That was my fear. And after going through the exercise, I was utterly exhausted. I was so ready to go to bed and just zonk out and just rest after that. Like when you're sobbing and crying and you feel wretched and you are deeply loved anyways, and then you go home, you have this profound, heart-opening conversation with your husband. Like, that is a day well spent. And I was so done. And it was perfect and it was wonderful. And so when you hear the song Amazing Grace, and if you are like me, every time I hear that song and I'm singing it, I'm always bawling and crying, because why would anyone love me, the wretched soul I am? Why would someone love me anyways? And I'm always so moved to tears. And I was reading the lyrics of the song, and I thought how grateful I was to be loved and to realize that, no, we may think we're wretched, but we're not wretched. And if we would just accept that and realize that, then would we live a more powerful life where we were more open to sharing 100% of ourselves with everyone, especially the people we love, like our husband, our mom, and be okay with trusting that they will love you anyways. And if they don't, it's okay, because you're not a wretched soul. You are deeply loved, and you are divine. By your very right, you are utterly divine. I had my hair and makeup done today, and the curls have kind of faded out, but it was fun. It was a fun session. It's one of the perks of having my kick-ass coach and her husband as being a part of their life, and having a coach like that in my life. And I'm looking forward to doing that for my clients when it comes to that point. And I was thinking, gosh, the next retreat that I do for my clients will be so much fun. Like, we'll get a really cool place, we'll eat vegan food and have amazing conversations and really tap into our real self, our empowered self, our infinitely powerful self. See, what should I send you today? Sending you love, light, and amazing grace. And if you don't already know, I'm a life coach. I was talking to the makeup artist today, and she's like, tell me about life coaching. Like, what is it you do? I love talking to you people. You're a certain genre of people. And I said, oh yeah, I'm a big proponent of people living very powerful lives. And I get them there, I guide them there, and I help them have shifts in their lives and for them to live a deeply transformed life. And I said, I struggled with my money mindset. I struggled with sharing my inner shit to my husband, is what the makeup artist said. She goes, oh yeah, I finally shared my inner shit. I'm like, I love that inner shit. That's so funny. That's so funny. I was laughing and laughing. So yeah, that's part of what I do as a life coach. I help you be okay with your inner shit and realize it's not really shit. And everyone has shit inside of you, because we eat and it turns into shit, right? And it's not good or bad. It's just part of the human condition. Is what we do as human. We eat food and it turns into poo-poo in our body. And then the best thing to do is to eliminate it as what it's meant to do. Instead, we hold on to it and we think, gosh, we're such a shitty person because we have all this shit in us. When we realize, if we just recognize the shit for what it is and let it go and process it, then you would feel at least 2 pounds lighter. I had a conversation with my husband yesterday, and I got on the scale this morning before a bowel movement, and I lost 2 pounds. That was 2 pounds of junk I was holding on to. So yes, that was 2 pounds of shit I was holding on to. So in a metaphorical way, I, as a life coach, help you eliminate that stuff. Let it go, get it out, process it, and move on to a lighter being, a more elevated person, a person who lives a deeply meaningful, infinitely powerful, deeply fulfilling life. And this is what I do for a living. It is my soul calling, my soul purpose. If you are a fly or a germ in one of these calls, listening to the conversation I'm having with my clients, you would be astounded and you would say, that is remarkable. I'm going to pay to have someone like that in my life, because that is a total game changer, to live that powerfully. Yes, that's what I do. That's the gift I have, and I will call you out, and I will not stand for you to not step into your best self, to truly live a profoundly meaningful life. That's what you came here to do. You might as well pay some money and do it quickly, and do it effectively, efficiently, instead of doing it the long way. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You watching my videos alone on a daily basis will help you get there, period. If you'd like to do it at a more accelerated rate, and you'd like to work on one and get some massive transformation and shifts quickly, then there is a way to do it. So check out my other videos, check out my YouTube channel, check out my website, send me a message. This weekend I'll work on creating a platform in Kajabi where you can click a button and purchase a session with me. And usually I do one free session, and then we can see if we're a good match for each other. And if we are, you'll be on your way to living a truly soul elevated life. I'll see you tomorrow.